Welcome everybody to another episode of F That Job. This is the show to air out your workplace grievances, the show about people who work jobs, the people who hate them, and the people who escape them. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Rashawn P.
Chat.
And welcome to another episode. So today we have another in-person guest, somebody who I was looking forward to coming to the show for a
Oh,
little bit,
okay.
so we could just talk about some things. Someone who's in the same realm, the media realm that we're in. Somebody who, from behind the scenes, I've been watching their career just slowly just move up through the ranks. So really happy to see this
Stalking
person
me.
doing his thing a little bit.
Stalking. Nice way of saying stalking. Okay.
But,
Okay.
uh, so like to welcome Miss Racqui B to F That Job.
Hi
So
guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
yeah, thanks for coming on. So we're gonna
Uh-oh.
get right to it,
Uh-oh.
right? First question we ask everybody:
Hmm.
what is the first time you said F that job? Like you was somewhere and you was working somewhere and you was like, yo, I'm done with this, yo, I'm out.
Wow. Okay. So it was the last job I had before I started really getting into media, right? And I what do I say where I worked at? Do I incriminate myself?
We can bleep it out.
Okay.
You can just
So
say general if you want.
that particular job, right? I did administrative like secretary front desk work, right? And I love people. So I love the whole aspect of like greeting people and catering to people, but I knew like this wasn't it. Like I knew my purpose was bigger than this. So I got knocked up. I kept praying, like, God, get me out of this smoothly, right? Like, I need a real smooth transition because I'm not big on like F that job, right? I'm like, I need to transition out smoothly. So I got knocked up and and I'm like, oh. So I got all my maternity leave pay, my sick pay, my vacation pay. I took all that month off and I just said, I ain't coming back, y'all. And it was crazy because I told my boss like I'm gonna go back to school and really get into media and broadcasting, and they were like they weren't really supportive. They kind of like, can she do it? You know. And so when I left that job, my baby daddy worked at the same place I did. So he still worked there when I left. So they were kind of inquiring, like, what is she doing? What is she doing? How is Raquel? How is Raquel? And he was like, oh, she's back in school. And they were like, oh, she did it. Yeah, she did it. So I transitioned out pretty smoothly, got all the money to get out, and I never looked back. I never looked back.
What was
Wait.
what
Use your PTO.
PC, use all the PTO, maternity, everything,
what was
everything.
uh what was the reason that you wanted to leave though? Why
Um,
did you want to
You said it. You said it wasn't.
yeah,
It
it
wasn't your
wasn't.
purpose, but
No, I
what
knew
was it
like
about being in there that made you?
because everyone I came in contact with would always say like, "Oh my God, you're such a bright, like vibrant personality," and da 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 da. And I'm like, "Yeah, like oh my God, you belong. You know, what do you do? This what you do? Da, da, da. This what is your long term?" Everyone's like, "What's your long term goals?" Like everyone else seen something in me, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe I don't need to be doing this." And then I started, doing a radio co-hosting on a radio show, and I'm like, "Oh, I really love this." And shout out to Angel White. I started co-hosting the music report with her and Amanda Williams. And I'm like, oh, I love this. Maybe I can, really try this out and really make a career out of this. And that's when I'm like, yeah, I got it. Something's bigger. There's something bigger out here.
so was that your first like introduction into radio? I actually remember that I was on the show. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my first introduction into radio. So I've always been like doing I've always been on stage. I loved people. Like I don't have stage fright at all. I love attention. I'm an attention whore. Can I say that? I love attention. So beat that out. So I love being on
keep it.
stage. I've been in pageants. My mom used to put me in pageants. I've won pageants. I've been in dance companies, everything. So I knew I wanted to be on TV. I knew I wanted to be in front of people. I didn't know how. And when I just decided to like co-host by default. It wasn't even like something I was planning. I was like, hey, come on, why don't you be my co-host? I'm like, okay, I'll be your co-host. And when I seen that this is actually a lane or avenue I could really be successful in, I just went foot on the gas.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I said, F that job. I was just trying to survive. Like I like nice things. It was a nice little paycheck for what I was doing, but I'm like, there's something else I need to be doing.
So that spark kind of just
Yeah.
ignited inside of you. You had to feed the flame.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to. I had to. So I did it the non-conventional way compared to now, right? Because now, um, a lot of people are getting into podcasts. A lot of people are getting into broadcast and media because they're seeing the how lucrative it is, right? And it's a way of expressing yourself without boundaries. And a lot of people are getting to that because everybody so wants to be so expressive. A lot of people got stuff to say. People think people want to know what they got to say. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So a lot of people are getting into that now. But back then, it wasn't really the way to. That wasn't the avenue to go down. It was kind of like who you know.
Hmm.
And for me, I was like, okay, I know a few people. I know I got natural talent. I gotta go back to school because all the doors were opening, but they were also like, you're not ready yet. So I like the only way I can prepare myself is going back to school. So I took that path, and a lot of people don't take that path, and it's kept opening doors for me since.
So what was that process like going back to school? Um,
I was an old ass fart. I didn't realize how old I was because I graduated, like, I got my undergrad in like 2009, 2010, and I went back to school in 2019.
hmm,
So I took like a good 10 years off because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Same. I did the same.
Yeah. So I'm like, everybody in my class is like 24, 25, like, oh, you coming to my 25th birthday party? And I'm like, bitch, what? I'm 31 with a kid. Like, what are you talking about? So, so I was like an old fart, but I knew the difference between my classmates and I were that I knew this is what I want to do. So I went back to school knowing that I'm gonna go down this route. So I wasn't bullshitting at all. I went there and I got my work done. Like I was commuting every week back and forth from Syracuse to Rochester, and I knew I had to get it done. And when you have a different focus, a different drive, school is like amazing.
yeah. It almost feels like sometimes, like I've heard people say, like encourage your kids to take a gap year before they go to
Yeah.
college, because it almost feels like sometimes you got to live a little bit of life so that you can, you know, actually appreciate being in school. Because I know I went to school, I tell people all the time, I went to school to play bad football and drink beer. Like that's all I did. Like I played, we didn't win no games. I was just out there running into motherfuckers and partying on the weekends. I did not care about school at all. If I had to go back to school now, I would have more of a focus going into there and like appreciate it a lot more than I did. At least the
Exactly.
educational portion of it. I would
Yeah.
appreciate the education more if I was to go back to school now.
Because you
Right.
said that was the unconventional way of doing it, right? Everybody knows conventional way. You graduate high school, you go to college, right? Everybody in high school, right? You had that dream where I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna
Mhm.
graduate by this age, and then I'm gonna travel, then I'm gonna meet my person, I'm gonna marry, and I'm gonna live the rest of my life, right? Everybody thought they was gonna do that,
Yeah.
and everybody was gonna be financially stable by the time they was 30 years old, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
It don't work like
It don't work like
that.
that.
but that unconventional way, because again, I did the same thing. Like I went to college as soon as I got out of high school, but it wasn't for me. I don't think I was just mature enough, but I also didn't really know what I wanted to do. It took me some time
Mhm.
after to figure out, hey, this is what I want to do. And now it made me more focused on staying
Exactly.
doing what I want to do. So that might be more of a, it may not be the
Right.
conventional way of doing it, but it make way more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the commonsensical way of
Yes.
doing it, right? Like taking a little break and like exploring the world, exploring your interests first,
Mhm.
and then you go back to school with a focus. Like, oh, I like building shit. So like, let me go try to be a civil engineer. Like now you know what you're passionate about, what your gift is, and now you can really put some credibility or certification behind that, and that means a lot in this world.
And you also learn, like when you're older, like you understand the value of money. You
Hmm.
understand the value of like credit. So you know, like you said, you was in there, you was focused, you driving back and forth between here and Syracuse. You
Yeah,
know, I can't fuck this up. I have
I
to pay
can't.
for this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like you want, yeah, like you appreciate that a little bit more.
And my son was just 1, 2 at the time. So for me, it was like, damn, like I'm leaving my kid. Like I'm missing some milestones here. So I can't,
Got to
like,
make
this
this
is
count.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
this sacrifice is different. So it gotta count.
Hmm.
I would cry. Like my son's father would send me videos of him like running and hiding, like playing hide and go seek, and I'm just like, I'm fine. You studying? Is it worth it? And he was just like, shut up, you're right down the street. So, it was just like, he's not even gonna remember that you were gone for a year. So it was him a motivation between like having a kid and knowing like this is what I wanted to do. So it just worked out when you on your right path, doors gonna start opening that you won't even have to you don't have to bust them down. You don't have to knock down the doors. They'll just open when you on your right path.
So you think like after finishing school, most people finish school, they don't get right into their
Career.
right,
Yeah.
right into their career field.
Hmm.
Was it a big like it wasn't a big time frame for you
Mm-mm.
to jump right into it.
Well, man, my story is so that's why I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing because my story is just crazy. Like before I went back to school, I interviewed for a position at one of my full-time job, WXXI. I'm a reporter, a news reporter there. And I interviewed for a position there before. I didn't get it because I didn't have the experience with certain software writing because when you write for like news and broadcast
So
it's a
different.
whole different type of
Yeah,
writing, right? So I didn't have that. I knew I could write, I just didn't know how to write for
like that
like
structure.
script. And yeah, so I interviewed with them. I didn't get the position, but they loved my personality, so like just stay in touch. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went back to school. I interviewed with Channel 10. I was interviewing with all stations, just trying to get in. And I didn't have the skill set yet. So I was like, you know what, I'm going back to school. And if I do get into this program, because it's hard, like 15% of applicants get in. If I do get in, then I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And I got in. So I'm like, okay. And then after I graduated, 3.7 GPA, put that 3.7 big umble.
Put that underneath.
Put that there. After I graduated, WXXI had an opening and I applied for that. And the same guy that interviewed me 2 years before interviewed me then. And he said, well, you were busy since we last spoke. I said, yep. I was tired of y'all closing the door on me. And I went and got my degree and I got hired. So it was a process, but if for my story is kind of like a when you turn your nose into yeses.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So I ain't just like this ain't just something that I happened to like fall on. Yeah, it kind of like fell into my lap, but I also had to work, put in some sacrifices to get where
A lot of
I
effort.
wanted to be. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm still not where I want to be. So a lot of people like, oh, you doing good, you're so successful, you're a local celebrity. I hate that term.
You hate that term?
I hate that
I
term.
hate it too.
Do not call me that. I am not no local. Okay, like people like you're a celebrity. No, no, Rihanna don't even know my name. Like when Rihanna knows who I am, I will accept it. But like I understand that some people like, for some people, this is my position is a big deal, right? So they look at me as such, but I see myself so much bigger. So I'm like, please, like stop, like, because when I take my lashes off, ain't no local celebrity here. So I'm so humble with it because I know where I came from, and I've always been that person. So I've never when people say that, I'm like, please stop.
So
This is for the audience. And don't say local. I hate the word local. Right? Like, don't do that.
okay, hold on, hold on.
Because
So you make a little. So you local, right? You're a local DJ, right? From Juice, like so you local. Like
like,
that.
don't
Don't do that to
don't
people.
do that because like yo, the world is so connected today. Like
Yeah.
everything is so connected. Like if I am a news reporter locally in Rochester, I live here. I'm not local. I live here, right?
Hmm.
But if somebody else knows that in like California,
Yeah.
bitch, I'm national now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
One person that made you national.
Like, yo, no, but they know me in California,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Okay,
right.
so I'm national now.
When they look at the analytics from your videos and they see, oh, somebody watching it in Canada, somebody watching it in Bangladesh, you international.
Bro,
Not
don't lie.
Bangladesh.
Just we get off topic, but I'm just the local thing because I hate that word,
I
right? Yo,
like
I
local rapper. You hate that.
I hate it. No, you know
Stop.
why?
Say it.
You know why? You know why though? Like, so let me
Why?
flex real quick.
Go
'Cause
ahead.
I sold albums in Japan.
Mhm.
I sold albums in Zambia. I sold albums and I've never been to Zambia. I forgot where that was even at until I saw. I was like, oh shit, somebody listen to my music in Zambia. Like, okay, cool, right? Now, I might only sold one or two, but I still sold it. So it's like, Fuck that local shit, bro. Get
World renowned,
yeah.
world renowned rap.
Put that underneath me right there. Okay.
Uh,
Okay, let's get back to it.
so so I got a question for you. So I wanna dive deeper into that about becoming more of an asset, right? Because when you say that, the first thing that kind of pop into my head is I don't know if a lot of people have read I can't remember the name of it, but Charlemagne's first book
Mm-hmm.
where he talks
Sure
about
did.
put the weed in the bag. Like where basically what I took away from that is like you have to make yourself useful before you can be useful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people who might because there's a lot of people who might look at that who might hear that and might be like, oh well, I'm gonna just jump out there and do something that's totally unnecessary where you're not being actually a help to anybody in the office. So what are the things that you found that were useful for you to do to become an asset to the team at the place where you work at?
Okay, so well, I work at two different places. So for me is different is each job requires something different from me to to prove that I am. So I don't know with my news reporting job, that's my full-time gig. So my news reporting job at WXXI being right now the only really full-time black reporter there. It didn't start off that way, but now I am. And so for me, being an asset is showing that I have connections to a community that you don't.
Hmm.
I have strong connections to community that you don't. And I can tell those stories because there's a comfortability there that my white coworkers wouldn't get from that community. So that's part of it. Also being having that natural skill set to like doing great interviews, being able to talk to people, being personable, and I'm like the small things too. Like I'm teachable. I take critique, but then I also get better. Right. So it's not only being the flyest person in the newsroom, it's also about, knowing your shit and proving that you know your shit and you are dependable. So that has opened up so many doors for me because just being there, I also host the morning show sometimes over there too because they see that I'm a quick learner, I talk well, black, like, wow, she's black, she talks well. We can definitely use her. So like we're gonna look great. And that's just the reality of it. So I remember when I first started working there, our HR person, she's also a black woman, and she said, I remember I started like coming to work. I used to dress up all the time to work, and I started like just dressing more relaxed. Everybody else was dressing relaxed, and she was like, "Not yet. You're a black woman. Better come here.
Hmm.
Don't care what they say. If they say you overdress, don't worry about it. You come here and you show up every time." And she, you gotta tell me that twice. I didn't put these heels on. So like and it made a difference because I stood out.
Hmm.
Not only are you like you are, you attract the attention, the appeal, but then it's also like, and she know her shit. So that's how I proved to be an asset there. So the beat, man, I'm just me, like just me being me and the skills that I acquired from that job, they cross, right? So like with my reporting job, I know how to do good interviews and I can bring that to the beat. With the beat, I know how to bring my personality out. I bring that to my reporting job. So everything is just now I'm a bigger asset. Like, damn, so it's just little things that, men do what I want them to do because they want to shout out, like those things. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. But just having my way out here. No, but it's really like you really have to prove that you have some type of skill set or something about you, whether it's your looks, whether it's just for me, it's just my talent. Like I'm a out talent you every time. So um that's just what it is. It's just
But
knowing.
that sorry to cut you off,
Uh-huh.
but that kind of makes me like it makes me feel away though, right? Because you
Why?
know all of the things that you know, right? And you can do all the things that
What's the way you feel? You hating?
no, because it's like you shouldn't have to be all these extra things that everybody else is.
That's the
But
world we live
I
in.
know that's where we at.
That's
But
what we
that's
live
the
in.
type of thing that made me say F that job because it's
Yeah.
like, yo, everybody, right? Like there's no equity. here, right? Like we're not. We all know that we are not starting on the same place. We're not starting
Mm.
there, right? But it just like I don't know. That shit is whack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you say it very gracefully, like like okay, yeah, like okay, not yet. Don't dress relaxed yet. Like,
Yeah.
wait until like even though you might be more talented,
Yeah.
even though like you putting in the hours, you on time, you dependable, you doing
Mhm.
everything, and you got a little bit of leverage because you can reach an audience that can't be reached before you
Right.
got there,
Right.
but you still on
Gotta
top of
do
that have
extra.
to do all of the little extra.
Mhm.
That's kind of that's whack, but.
Mhm.
I mean, that just shows that I got way too much F that job on me because I show up to I'm like the memes where it's like during the interview and then like after the interview like I'm as soon as I get the job I'm in there I'm myself 100%, like I'm not about to show
Mhm.
off no, but you know it
When
goes
I
to
think
show how
you
much
speak
further
up,
people can like you could climb.
right.
I'm not always so concerned about climbing up ranks and stuff because I have not usually worked a job where I'm like, this is my passion, this is where I want to be at.
Mhm.
It's a lot different when you're working and where you're passionate at and you really want to make that impression
Yeah.
and you want to like, get in on the good side on people and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And that's what it is. That's a hammer on the head right there. Like, this is where I want to be. I see myself being like the face of a major broadcast network, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. So for me, it's just, yeah, it's different to prove myself each time because I know where I want to be. And when I get there, I'm going to be like, all right, peasants, I'm here. But until then, I got a lot of work to do. And I'm going to keep doing that work, and that's just what it is. And now I have two different lanes, so whichever lane gets me there
So let's talk
quicker.
about that other lane. We
Oh,
talked a lot about like the news reporting.
yeah, uh-huh.
So let's talk about the radio, right? Let's
Uh-huh.
talk about the radio host. So like, um, you are a very personable person.
Uh-huh.
You definitely have like that. You should be on TV,
Uh-huh.
absolutely, or over the radio waves, or that's just. It's pretty clear. Like you went to school, you studied that. You might have picked up a couple of things along the
Mhm.
way, but like that's
It's
your
in
thing.
me, not on
It's,
me.
yeah,
Right.
that's you, right? Um, what are some of the things?
Uh-oh.
I know we just talked about this off camera, but what are some of the things that like people like do? All right, let me get to it. What's some of the things that dudes do, right? Like when they're trying to like, because everybody makes music, right? Everybody has a product to sell. Everybody has something, right? What are they saying to you? What do DMs look like to get on the radio or to get your to get the to
Right.
get your to get your my music played on the radio or something like that? Like, what is that happening a lot?
Oh my gosh. Whenever I think about that, it gives me social anxiety. Like, I don't want to go out, guys. Like really. That's a part of this business that really makes you just, I don't want to go out today. I don't feel like dealing with that today. And I love it. I love, our supporters and whatnot. If you fuck with me, I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you. But when I'm out and I'm just enjoying my time with my friends, I don't want to talk about that. And it's and these these rappers are very passionate about their shit, and they're very aggressive with the approach. So it's like you have to like pay attention because you don't want to get shoot 'em up shop. So it's like I listen, but I really don't want to, guys. I really want to like drink my Casamigos and chill. But I understand that passion. So like there's something in me that's like, oh, I cringe, but then I also switch it like, you know what, this is somebody talking to me about what they love. And so I pay attention because I know how that is, right? I know if I'm coming up to you and I'm like, yo, I really want to do radio, like here's my demo. I know how I would want somebody to receive me. So I kind of switch that, right? But sometimes it's like, oh, here he comes. Oh, okay.
So you see them coming, but
I see him coming.
yeah.
A lot of times you would think, and that's in being that personality, you would think guys are interested in you because it's hard to date. It's hard to date. Like, I'm newly single, but it's hard to date because I don't know people's true
intentions.
motives or intentions, right? Like,
And it's even harder now because it ain't like it's 10, 15 years ago where they coming up with a mixtape with a
right.
CD trying to hand it to you. I mean, that would have been a little bit easier to navigate. Like, do he got a mixtape in his hand? Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Like,
That's why I made it. I'm very intentional about who I actually entertain. Like artists, rappers, I don't because I never think you're really there for me. That's just who I am. I don't do that. I don't do Jamaicans because I'm not trying to marry.
We gotta blank that out.
I'm not trying to marry you. But
Yo, I'm not trying to.
I'm gonna give you
I'm not trying to have the dreads forest. Hey, hey, to the dreads. Hey, to the dreads, man. Don't want no smoke, man. Don't come to the studio, bro.
No, but I'm really like, I don't know if people are just trying to get to know me because, oh, that's Racqui B, or are you really trying to get to know me? And it's hard to decipher because, guys, you guys are getting very good at like, weaseling your way into a woman's heart, man, and draws, and and you be like, whoa,
We know
you
the
really
trick.
like me? Yeah. So it's like now I'm trying to like, okay, let me try to like slow it down a little bit and see what this person's real motive is. So I'm very picky now. Like I'm looking at what you got, what you bring into the table. Um, if you need me, is there any avenue in your life where you may need me? And then now I kind of like have to have my guard up a little bit. But it's hard to date when you're a public figure because you never know what people's true motives are. Like, like I'm definitely not your type, sir. Like you like girls with BBLs and stuff. I'm not your type. So why are you here? Um, and then some guys, they have their motives, and then they get to know me, and now they like, I can't leave you alone. Like you're so dope. So I don't know what they come for. I don't know what they gonna stay for. I definitely know what they stand for, but what they come for, I really don't know anymore. So it's hard to date. It's hard to date in this industry. It is, and that's why I see why celebrities stay with each other because you guys are in the same lane. You don't need me for shit. But if you date somebody on the outside that's not an entertainer or not in the business, it's kind of like, okay, why are you here? So it's hard. It is hard. I'll say that.
That's interesting.
And says the rapper.
But here's the crazy thing, right? Here's the crazy thing, right? And I think everybody here can attest. Everybody has known me for a while, right? I'm not that type of guy. Like I'm not like I've known you for mad long.
Yes.
I could have been slid in your DM.
Yes.
Like, yo, let me get the mixtape on the like.
Yes.
I don't.
But people also chase clout too.
Yeah.
A lot of people just want to say like, yeah, I messed with right, yeah, the girl on the radio. I know that as well. So I know that's coming. So I make sure you guys know that I'm very headstrong. Like, okay, no, you didn't fuck me. I fucked you. Like I'm coming like that because I gotta let you know that. Like it would never happen if I didn't consent. So don't go around saying, "Oh yeah, I hit Racqui B." No, Racqui B hit you.
Consensually.
Where are you? Can you can you call her now? Is your number blocked? Like you gotta do you have access to her now? No, you don't. That means she hit you and now you a throwaway. So I just gotta come real headstrong when I move now. Cause people so quick to just throw your name out for clout, whether you public figure or not. It's just people will just use you for shit, So I gotta make sure like uh
I've heard people say things like that. So you're not
yeah.
at all by saying that. Like I'm really aware of dudes be thinking like that sometimes. It's like as much as we say like we want to. This is not one of those podcasts, but we gotta be fair. We gotta be right. Like we know like if it's a rapper and he got some type of clout or he got some type of fame or actor or whatever, right? We know that there's gonna be groupie women. On the other side is groupie dudes too.
Yeah.
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 It's groupie dudes for other dudes. They be big bro, like
Yeah.
Be like,
Bro.
right?
There's groupie dudes, and you got to handle a groupie like a groupie sometimes. And it's like, oh, ooh, you got me. You played it real well. You finessed the shit out of me, and it won't happen again. So I give if you finesse me, I'll give you your props. Like, yo, you did that. Nobody else. You did like for real. Like, if you finesse me, I'm like, damn, you really finesse me. Like, you good. That man good. But it ain't gonna happen again. So I'll give you your props if you got me. Like, I'll take this one for the team. You finessed the shit out of me. But now you just made it worse for the next guy.
And guys, you should not be finessed.
They
finessing or coercing.
They be finessing.
Yeah.
They be finessed.
But let's move away from that.
Okay, let's move away.
Like that one could go somewhere completely.
Yeah. It'll be F that nigga podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jan is like, okay.
So, So before before you were doing the reporter and like the broadcasting on over the radio, you
Hmm.
was hosting,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And so like you said before, like not a stage fright person, you know,
Yeah.
concerts, different shows,
Yeah.
different
I've been in
things
this
all
lane
the
to
time.
some capacity. Right. Right.
What made you like have you always been like that? Is that something that you just always saw yourself doing, or is it kind of like was it like a default thing? Like, it's like maybe I'll try it like the first time.
Like what? Like hosting or like
Yeah, just hosting, being
radio?
on stage,
Being
being
a
the personality.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a personality. Wow. Oh, that's that. That's what it is. I'm a freaking personality. I've always been this person though. Like in high school, people don't know, like in high school I was voted like class clown. So I had to give like the class jokes and stuff. So like I've always had a big personality. Always. Always loved the stage, love people, love performing. So it's always been in me, you know? Pageants, dance competitions. In college I had the dance team. Like it was just I've always been a performer, always been on stage. So this is not new to me. It's just this part of it is. Like I've always had been in this lane. It's just that, you know, the lanes sometimes split. So it's like, oh, okay, like you could do this, you could do that, you could do that in this lane. So now I just now I just touch every area of it, hosting to, you know, mediating panels to TV to radio. I'm just doing every aspect of it now, but I've always had like that part of me. Like it's always been there.
You said panels, and we can bleep this out if we have to. What is up with the panels and people just talking and like people just like yo, cause like I be seeing these like meetings, right? And it'd be like a whole panel. It'd be like a women's panel or like a
Yeah.
empowerment panel
Panel.
of people who are not empowering. They're not motivational, inspirational at all.
Oh
And it
gosh.
like what
Hey,
is that? What is that? Like
this panels been around forever. People
mhm,
been doing panels. Panels was the original podcast. When people wanted to hear to have their voice heard, you know, it's a conference. We got a panel. We got such and such up here to talk. Blah, blah, blah. Now, you know, that's old school podcasting, really.
yo,
Like,
come pay $60, the charcuterie board, like yo, eat some grapes, right? Eat some grapes, like I pull this spring, right? And then we're gonna talk to you about whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna take nothing from this, and then you're gonna like leave. Like what like
No, that's if you don't take anything from it, then you're at the wrong panel discussion. You got to go to something that is something you're interested in. Something you're interested in. I will go to a panel discussion about women in radio. Like if Angie Martinez had Angie Martinez, Angela Yee, and this other girl in New York City I listen to. If they had a panel discussion, I'm all in. Cause and Kendra G in Chicago, love her, WGCI. So if they had a panel together, I'm front row. How much is VIP tickets? Oh, can I have a one on one? I'm in there. I paid for Zoom. That's when COVID was hitting, but I paid for Zoom lectures with Kendra G because I admire her. She's like the number one female radio personality in Chicago. She's black and she also touches into the TV market as well. Like she's doing everything I want to do. So I've paid money to listen to her speak, right? And it's like the basic stuff that I already know, but I feel like if I could just make that connection, then one day it could happen. I don't know why I see myself in Chicago. I don't know why, but
that's a
yeah.
beautiful city.
So yeah, so I'm like I would listen to somebody I admire in that field speak on a panel because I want to get there. And just I could eventually touch you and make a connection. Like, hi, I'm Racqui. Can I, So you gotta be
I
somebody
guess
gotta be
it
into
gotta
that.
be something I'm interested in.
Yeah, you
I don't
can't
know.
be going to something about
I
gardening.
mean, if you
You
go on
can
the, I've gone to conferences and stuff like that for jobs that I've worked, and you go in and one of like them, and you sit on the panel, and they talking about, oh, let me think of how I was say. No, I'm not gonna say nothing specific because I don't want to be whatever. Like you go in and talk a panel that's like, oh, we're talking about TPS reports and how to blah blah blah. Like, of course that's gonna be some bullshit, but like. I mean, I feel like if I'm like you said, if I'm going somewhere where it's something passionate and somebody interesting that's up there talking, yeah.
yeah.
But then I've like seen some YouTube videos of some panels where it's like a bunch of people who you actually do know who they are, and they just up there just running their mouth and they ain't really talking about
Like a
nothing.
business panel of people who don't have successful businesses.
This is
So for to me, it'd be like, what am I learning here?
No, I've seen Instagram clips of like a life coaching panel, and you looking up there, and it's like like 3 or 4 people up there is like under 30. It's like, my nigga, what life have you lived yet? Like you ain't lived no life yet. Who was you coaching?
So, so of the three, right? The three different realms that you jumping into, like which one do
Hmm.
you enjoy the
Oh
most?
my gosh, I hate. The one I enjoy the most, gosh, I can't even answer that because they're just all different sides of me. They're just different sides of me. Like I have that reporter side, and they kind of like blend together. Like I have no choice but for them to blend together. But I really, if I had to choose one, I really enjoy radio, the beat. That's I could wake up every day and do that and be okay. Because I have more creative control. Um, and that type of radio, it gotta be in you, right? And I just have to show up and be myself, and I can have a good ass time. So I love doing that type of radio because it's all personality based. It's all like you establishing a connection with people that don't can't even see you. Do you know how much how much of a personality you got to be for somebody to be like, I love her, and it's not on a superficial level at all. It's just like I just love how you make me feel through your personality,
And
and I
probably
feel
don't
like
even
that's
know
more powerful, right?
probably don't even know what you look like.
Don't
Just
know what I look like. I've had like people talk to me and be like super fans of mine. Oh God, I used the fan word. Sorry,
supportive.
super supporters of mine, and don't even know I'm who I am.
Mhm.
And then when I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, what's your name? You're so fun. Da, da, da. And I'm like, oh, I'm Racqui B. And they're like, see, I had to go cry. I've had like kids like really bum rush me and like, oh my God. Like I'm like, oh, and they want to take pictures. And it's because somebody's just telling you, like, yo, you made my day. Like when you cracked this joke or when you said this, it's a different type of empowerment when you have that control and you're like, damn, I can't. The downfall of it all, if I had to say, is that I can't have a bad day. If I have a bad day,
Hmm.
I gotta because these people are counting on me to make their days better, right? So that's one of the mental health aspect of, please tap into mental health.
Glad
That's one of the
we
mental
glad we
health
did.
aspects, right? That people don't understand about this industry is that people are counting on you to make them feel better. So who's helping you out, right? So I had to take breaks, mental breaks myself, where I'm just like, I can't be on radio today because I'm not having the best day, and it's going to translate on air. So but yeah, but people count on you. So I don't give a fuck about. I mean, I could crack jokes about my baby daddy, like, oh, hey, daddy ain't shit today. But like, they want a solution. Like, okay, he not shit today, but how are we gonna solve this?
I
My baby daddy ain't shit today either.
Man, I would be so upset if I'm driving and I
Oh
know my
my!
kid mom on the radio and she like, that nigga ain't shit today. I'm like, this motherfucker, like,
But he know, like, we in a better place, thank God. So now he can laugh at shit. But we in a better place, and that's the thing with my son's father. A lot of people like they have their opinions, but he knew me before all of this happened. Like we were together for like almost 10 years. So this is before Racqui B developed. So he's one of the only men I can say genuinely love me for me,
mm,
right? Because when that Racqui B shit is out inside this house, you're not Racqui B. So despite all of that, he was supportive through the whole thing. So I will always give him his flowers for that. He was a full-time dad when I was in school. He made sure that I had somebody watching me, watching his kid while I was gone doing my hosting gigs. He's held it down where I wanted to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, nah, you got to do it. Like between him and Kyron, it was like almost like, okay, I got to. So he was been always supportive of me, and he actually genuinely fucks with me as a person.
mhm.
But this days I'm like, man, fuck my baby daddy. Fuck that nigga. I have my days too, like fuck that nigga. But a lot of times people want you to they want you to make them laugh.
Mhm.
And if I'm having a bad day, I can't make you fucking laugh right now. So that's a part of it that people don't
So
think about too much.
I wanna pivot back because as you tell your story,
Mhm.
um, it just kind of becomes like evident that you, like you said before, like Rashawn asked the question about which one do you like more,
Mhm.
and you said, and it basically what you're saying is like you kind of are just yourself at all of these places,
Yeah.
and you're just getting to be your true self,
Yeah.
and you found something where you get to be your true self and get paid for it,
Yeah.
right? So going all the way back to when you said that the first time you said F that job and you
Mhm.
realized you had to get pregnant to get up.
That,
When you,
that
you
is crazy.
so what I feel like
Yeah,
they
me, I gotta leave this job.
yo, that's crazy. Yo, but
My nigga, listen, got a plan, so get us out of here.
but they say if you do something you love, you'll never work another day
That's
in
a
your life,
fact.
right? Is there anything that you think you could just like enough, yo. Is there anything that you could any gem that you can give our viewers
Hmm.
to help them figure out what their how to walk in their purpose, how to like be their true self and kind of access that. I mean, because like you said, you grew up doing pageants, you was on the dance team and doing all this stuff, and it was just by happenstance that somebody asked you to be. So if somebody wouldn't ever, she would have never asked you to be a co-host, you might still be working in the office somewhere.
I know, right?
So like, what do you? Is there
That's just
anything that you could say?
an intervention right there.
Yeah.
I would, oh, that's divine intervention. Ooh, hold on, oh, one of my hoes calling. Call you back, daddy. What am I? One of the main ones. This is one of the main ones calling. He called. He was FaceTiming too. He wanted to see. Okay, no, but I would say, you know what? Every time someone asks me that, it gets harder and harder to answer that because I feel like I will always say if you want to do something, do it. Try it. Um, because that's just what it was for me. I tried it, and it happened to be what my purpose is. Currently is. Because that could change. But um, don't let anyone limit you because there's always people like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Da, da, da. Try it. I tried multiple things before I got here, and including like trying to be a stylist because I love fashion. But I was like, oh, y'all too cheap for me, so I couldn't do that anymore. And I'm like, I just it just happened. Just I don't know. It just happened for me. Why are you asking me this? It just happened for me. Swear to God, like I put a lot of work into. I'm not gonna. I would say invest in yourself. Invest in your motherfucking self. Because sacrifice and investment will get you in consistency. Woo, consistency. Because you might not see it right away, but when you stay consistent, it will happen for you. So that would be some gems. All right. Invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to make sacrifices and be consistent and keep a good support system because that's what kept me through it as well. Like some days I didn't want to do it no more. I'm like, I don't know. It's not progressing fast enough for me. And then all of a sudden it just like, now I'm like a household name in the city. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you just never know. Like look at freaking Gorilla. Like Glorilla just came out of Memphis and now she's a Grammy nominated like out of nowhere. Like you never know when that time is gonna happen. So just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. Um, yeah, but when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. I love all my jobs. I wish I could take all my jobs with me, but eventually I know one day I will have to choose and I will rue that day because I know it's coming. Like, all right, Rock, which lane you want to go down? And I'm like, damn. So um, but until then I'm gonna ride it out till I can't anymore. That's what I say to them too. I'm just kidding. You guys. No, but no, like I feel like just if being consistent is always the best thing. Like a lot of people, oh, and I hate when people say shit like, oh, only popular people get supported. Get that hate and shit out your blood, right? Because popular people became popular because they stayed consistent and they put their brand in your face. Like you had to see them, right? Even when I was annoying, like, oh, she hosted everything. Oh, she host. That was people was. Oh, she gonna host everything. Oh, she hosts everything. Oh, y'all not tired of her. Da, da, da. But now it's like I ain't going unless Racqui hosting. You know what I'm saying? So I put that. You got sick of me. And at the point that you have to make people sick of you. It's not about being popular. Popular people are popular because they didn't give a fuck if people got sick of them. They made sure they stayed in their face.
And they also took the time to step out there to do something.
Yeah.
So when you're hosting these different things, it's not easy to stand on that stage for
Mhm.
somebody who's not used to that or
Mhm.
somebody who's that's not their personality. It's not easy to do
Yeah.
that. It's not easy for you to just you're on the radio and you're talking and knowing that there's a million people in the greater Rochester area.
Mhm.
I don't know how many people that can actually broadcast to,
Yeah.
but like knowing like that many people are listening to what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I can't choke up on my words. I
I
can't slip up and do like it's not
I don't
easy
even
to
think
do
about
that.
that no more. I really be like, oh, I really people when people come back to me and say, oh, when you said this, I was like, oh, y'all be listening for real, because it's kind of like you talking to yourself. But like, but people that come in and like are interviewed and they get nervous, I'm like, oh yes, there are 1,000 something people listening to us right now. Like at any given time, it could be like 1,300 people listening.
Mhm.
So it's like I forget about that. So I mean, yeah. What you doing?
Oh, I was just signaling him so the
Oh,
alarm
okay, the
so the
timer.
alarm didn't go off while we were talking.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
I'm not cutting you off. Them niggas go wait. We talking.
Daddy gonna hate. But what?
Like, be
Mhm.
careful when you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm doing that. Why I keep tapping myself? That's stupid. Um, yeah. Testing. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So
Yeah. So yeah. Damn, I just lost what the fuck I was about to say. Well, no. Yeah, you got to make people sick of you. You got to stay
yeah,
consistent. You gotta make them sick of you to become a staple.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah. I don't know any popular person that somebody's not sick of them. You know
so
what I'm saying? Like,
Unless it's for some bullshit.
yeah, I mean, right. But if it's like, oh, look at her doing it. She always does that. Like, hey, but you know her name though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know my face, but they know my name. Like before I step in the room, people know my name. So because I made sure I stayed out there. And that's why it's hard for me to give up either one because each one puts me in a different realm of the world, right? Like I'm in corporate, I'm meeting the county executive through this world, and here I'm meeting like freaking celebrities in this world, and I'm staying relevant in within the culture, right? Within our culture. So, whoo, it's gonna be hard one day when I gotta choose, Lord Jesus. But
so this is a question that Sean usually asks, and I think he was about to ask it a little bit
mhm,
ago.
what?
But kind of goes along with what you were saying with like, if you're having a bad day, you can't go on there and
Mhm.
with the meme mug on and all that other shit. So when it is time for the cameras to go off or the radio, to turn off, the mics to turn off. But so when you're having those, you gotta fight through it to be, the personality that everybody's expecting you to be.
Damn. Well, that's why I'm single now. I don't got that stress. Uh, no, I just Ooh, I'm not good at it. I can't even lie to you. I'm not good at self-care at all. Like I'm so busy all the time. I work 7 days a week, literally. So I'm not good at self-care. And then I have my son at home, 4-year-old, that it's, hyperactive and just a toddler.
Mhm.
So it's hard. It's hard. I'm still working on it. Like I have my job literally tells me like you can take some vacation time. I'm like, okay. Like my work ethic is crazy. So I still got to work on that. And I'm trying, I'm trying to get back in where I schedule a massage or I just lay in the bed and not do shit. That shit is the most self-caring thing in the world. Like just lay in the bed and not do shit. So I'm still working on that. I'm not good at that. Because I was raised by a single mom who still works tirelessly to this day. So that's what I grew up watching. And my mom told me, like, you're becoming me. Like, don't do that because I didn't have time for you when I was like your age. And don't do that to your son. But like, mom, that's all I know. So like I'm still working on it.
Mhm.
But it is important. Like seeing a therapist, like all that stuff is important. But I'm still working on it, guys, because I love the work. I love to work. I'm like, yeah, I'll take care of myself when I sleep. But I'm still getting there. So I can't even give you a good answer of what to do because I'm still working on it. Shit, tell me what to fucking do. Because I'm working on it.
Take a day off.
I'm always busy.
I worked two.
Use that PTO.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Switch up, and we switched it up, y'all. This is official. Official. New shirts will be coming next couple months, so it's no longer use your PTO because you PTO. Shout out to whoever it
Shout out to
was.
Colin. That was my bro.
Yeah, Colin for throwing that in there. That makes a lot more sense. Like, but yeah, you gotta use
I use my PTO.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell,
But before I didn't do that, right? I
Yeah.
worked 2 jobs for like 9 years straight, and I wasn't getting no days off, and I was just
Yeah.
working. I was just working. I was working. When I finally like got like a decent job that was like because they was like BS jobs. When I finally got like a decent job that offered that,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know. Like they had to tell me like, "Yo, you can take some time off."
Yeah.
And then when I started doing it,
Yeah.
they had to start telling me like, "Yo,
You come to work? You want to come back to work?
like, no, I have time. How much time? How much time in my bank? Okay, so I be mapping it out. I'm like, so I can call in 24 days this year, and then I got the holidays. So like, I'm gonna plan them out. Like, like,
See, I was never that. Like the way you said your mom
Mm-hmm.
working on. I remember growing up, my mom saying to me, like being like, "Listen, no job is worth your well-being."
Yeah.
And I took that as fuck that job. Like that's at a young age. Like so, it's the second I started working, it was just like, yo, if I got time, you paying me to go stay not
Yeah.
come in? Like bet. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Man, damn, I stubbed my toe this morning.
Yeah.
What time the shift start? Ooh, that's an hour and a half. That's enough time. Hey, listen, I'll go.
and please, please,
Ah,
living here with this weather and the snow, if it's crazy, I'm not coming.
you're not
Yeah.
coming in.
It's not happening.
It's so hard.
Sorry.
But when I do it, I love it. But then I have like a kid, so like the days I do take off, I'm still trying to do little shit that I don't get to do. So I'm like, oh, let me do laundry, let me do this, let me do that. So it's like I really don't get the time off. So I really have to tell myself, like I have to tell myself, bitch, that can wait. The dishes can wait. Cause I now I have my own home. I got OCD a little bit. So I'm like, oh my God, there's dishes in the sink. My mom would kill me if she seen them. But I really gotta be like, yo, that can wait. You don't gotta pick that crumb off the ground. It can wait. Like I really gotta tell myself, like, just chill. Um, but like when you're a creative, your mind keeps going. Like your mind goes all the time. You can't really settle down. So I just keep thinking about shit. But yeah, but like I literally have to call people in the car. Like we have to talk in the car. Like I like when it's like a cheating man. Like you only if the man is cheating, if he cheating on you, when you know he cheating when you only talk to him in the car. Like he got somebody else, sis. He can't talk to you in the house. Uh, I only
And that's been a great episode.
she, he got a whole other situation where he only talk to you in the car. But I'm that friend. Like, oh my God, I can talk to you in the car because I'm on my way from one job to the next, and that's the only time I have for you. So it's like, yeah, I'm. But I really do got to work on that.
Yeah, you got to make some time for yourself.
F that job. Zzz. In my case, zzz, F those jobs.
Is there anything you want to leave us with?
Um,
What you got going on? What's coming up?
y'all, it's just okay. I don't know when this is gonna air, so I don't know what I could say, but I
It'll
just
be in December.
December. Okay, well that's when I take my biggest break, right? So I'm probably gonna head home, the islands, go to the Virgin Islands for like a few weeks. Um, but like you know, you know, today's price ain't yesterday's price. So I'm still taking my gigs. But, I'm worth it though. So yeah, I'll just keep doing me until I get where I need to go. But I'm gonna work on that self care.
It's a big piece.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm working
for
on self care. I have a nothing. That's too late. No, we're not gonna go.
sure. I don't even want to know where that's about to go. I don't. We might just.
What is?
No, no, we need to wrap it up. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
So remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter.
That's self care though.
Facebook.
Make sure y'all are y'all are leaving the reviews on the audio episodes. Um, and like we always say, use your PTO.
And wait, and also don't forget, tune in.
Oh,
Go ahead.
wait.
Get
Back
drop
to
your
Oh
social.
yeah. Okay, so follow me on social media, Racqui RACQUI. All right, no one. I don't think anybody else spells it like that. So my Instagram is I am Rocky.B. Facebook, Racqui B Steve. And you can listen to me each and every weekend on the Beat 1055 from 11 to 3 Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah,
F
the
with her
voice. F with me,
and F with us.
but F that job.